Hello world, I'm Twist and welcome to my Backlash 2026 review. It's from May 9th, 2026 in Tampa, Florida. And if you enjoy WWE discussions and content, you will love this channel. Every week I do a Raw recap and review, talking about my opinions and things going on in Raw. And every time we have a PLE, I like to do a review of that as well. And also I do WWE 2K26 content on this channel as well. We have the CM Punk showcase uploaded and the My Rise content will be coming out soon. Now, let's get into Backlash. Backlash starts off with a banger of a match. We get Seth freaking Rollins versus Braun Breaker, man. They get into it. Seth pop out with the hantavirus fit on. He got the little mask on, everything all black fit. He get into the ring. Braun pop out. Leather jacket, red fit on. They getting right. And the match starts off with Braun instantly trying to go for a spear on the Seth, but he misses. He ends up hitting the thing. Seth instantly gets on the attack. He goes for the suicide dive on the outside on him, gets him back into the ring. Then throw him back outside to the other side, go for the suicide dive on him. Then he start beating him on the outside. And that leads to Braun fighting back at first. He throws him over the barricade, but Seth fights back, attacks on him right there. Then he throws him back into the ring. Then Seth goes to the top rope, tries to do a dive on the Braun, but Braun ain't having. He catches him, throw that man to the outside of the ring. I'm like, damn. That leads him to go on the outside, having back and forth offense. Then Braun gets him into the ring, hits him with the suplex. Now it's time for Braun destruction. Hits him with multiple suplexes. Then he gets him to a rest hold, little headlock situation. But Seth fights back out of it. He hits the rope, but Braun stops it all by hitting him with a backbreaker. Now Braun is having another headlock on the Seth, but this time Seth fights back out of it, gets out, hits him with a back suplex, hits him with some multiple punches back and forth. Braun stops it by hitting the double back and forth clothesline. Boom! Right there. Now Braun is getting some more offense in, hits that man with multiple German suplexes. But as Seth's on the ground, he's mad. He slaps Braun, and Braun says, "Oh, slap me again, slap me again." He slaps him again, and Braun starts tweaking out. Multiple offense on the Seth. Gets him into the corner now. He hits him with the Breakensteiner, which is a Hurricanrana, to the ground. He goes for the pin. 1, 2, kick out from Seth though. He not going out like that. That leads to him picking up and then throwing him into the outside, and that leads Braun to start thinking real. He does the little walk around the ring trying to go for the spear. He goes for the spear, but boom, Seth hits him with a super kick, stops him, and that leads to a double count. It's going 8, 9. They both run into the ring. They don't get counted out. And that's when Seth tries to get the advantage, and he hits multiple clotheslines onto Braun Breaker. Hits him with multiple punches as well, and then hits him with a really big clothesline, knocks him down to the ground. Then he tries to go for the stump, but Braun gets up too early, so Seth has to go for the knee instead. 1, 2, kick out from Braun. He ain't giving the stump, so it ain't hurt that much. It didn't do that much damage. Then Seth hits that man with a super kick, and then tries to go for the stump again, but Braun reverses out of it, picks him up for the military press, back to the knees. Then he tries to go for the spear this time, but that gets reversed by Seth. So Seth then tries to hit the ropes, trying to hit a sling blade kind of, but he flips out of it, lands on his neck, hurts his neck. So Braun has the advantage now, goes for the standing moonsault on the Seth. Then Braun now has Seth in the corner. He's in with the corner punch, the 10 punches, but halfway through, Seth says, come here. It's time to go for the buckle bomb. Throws him into for the buckle bomb. But Braun instantly fights back, hitting him with a clothesline, and then we get to the double down. They roll out to the outside of the ring. Braun puts Seth on the table. He gets on the apron, does the table clothesline from there. But Seth fights back, and he lands on the superplex. Boom, from the top rope on the Braun, and usually after the superplex he goes for the Falcon Arrow, but this time Braun reverses that into his own Falcon Arrow of his own. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, kick out from Seth. These dudes going back and forth in this match. Then Braun hits a Breakensteiner on one corner, goes to the other corner, tries to go for the Breakensteiner then, but Seth, he reverses it by landing on his feet. He geeked now, hits him with multiple super kicks to Braun, hits him with a pedigree. Then hit that man with the stump. He can't go for the pin because Heyman got on the apron. He beefing he got the ref involved now. And that leads to the Vision popping out, but the thing is Seth was ready for it. He put out a chair, whopped to Logan Paul, whopped to Austin Theory, hit a stump on them. and he ends up chasing Logan Paul all the way to the entrance stage. He gets back, he runs back into the ring, and boom! Instantly get hit with a spear. 1, 2, kick out of Seth. He ain't going like that. Braun says it's time to get the real spear in. He goes for the super spear, running back and forth, but pedigree. And then Seth says, I know that ain't enough. He catches him. Goes to the top rope for the super stump. He jumps. Spear! And Braun said, let me get the rope spear again. Spear! 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker gets the dub. Fire match. Great way to open up the show. I give this match a 4.5 stars. It could have been a 5-star, but you had the little interference, man. You had to look goofy. When I see interference, I drop down to point. The only time interference in a match has not affected the score for me was WrestleMania 40 with Cody and Roman. So yeah, Seth still looks strong because he needed a lot of people help to beat him, but Braun gets the dub on his former leader, man. Great match. I wonder what they're going to do more with the storyline. Then we get on to our second match of the night. Challenger Sami, Gingerbread Man, I'm playing, Zayn versus Mr. Whoop Dat with Lil Yachty. We have Trick Williams there. They pop out to the ring. Lil Yachty is carrying his kendo stick, his candy cane kendo stick, because the SmackDown before, they held the funeral for the Gingerbread Man, and Lil Yachty was in the casket. He popped out of it and then whooped Sami Zayn. So now Sami Zayn is very furious. And when the men are in the ring, before the match even starts, they throwing shots at each other. They swinging on each other. They ring the bell in. They get into a little tie-up. Tammy Vance put him in the corner, hitting that man with chops. But Trick fight through all that. Trick fights back this time, but hitting the clothesline. Now it's Trick's turn to get some corner chops in. And then he hit that man with a bitch slap, with the big old pimp slap right there. Then he hits the Whoop Dat Trick corner stumps, basically stumping a mud hole in him. Shout out to Stone Cold. And then that leads on to them going to the outside. And that leads to Sami having to get advantage now. He grabs Trick, throws him into the stairs. And he starts chasing Lil Yachty around the outside. And he gets back into the ring, gets more punches on the Trick. That leads to Sami having dominant offense on Trick now. He's taking advantage. But Trick gets a comeback in by landing a neck breaker onto him. That leads him to a double down. And Trick gets the advantage. He has the Irish whip on Sami. Hits him with the Booker T side kick. Then hits him with the pull-up slam he tries to go for. But that gets reversed by Sami. Sami tried to hit his own move, but this time Trick reverses that by hitting with a bicycle kick, which is basically a pump kick. At least Trick trying to get the match over where he tries to go for the trick shot, but that gets reversed by Sami into a blue thunder bomb, but that gets reversed into a bookend. Shout out to Booker T again. 1, 2, kick out from Sami. He not going out. Then that leads to Trick picking up Sami, putting him on the top rope to go for the super bookend, but Sami reverses out of that into a sunset flip power bomb. 1, 2, kick out from Trick. He still want to be champ. Then that leads to Sami trying to bounce off the rope for a springboard. But Trick gets out the way and Sami hurts his knee. He lands on his knee. He's like, ref, I need help. And the ref tries to go over to him, but Trick, he don't want to wait for that. When Sami plays possum about his knee, Lil Yachty gets upset. He jumps on the apron. That leads to Sami Zayn picking up the kendo stick and whopping that man on the back. He goes for the pin though. 1, 2, kick out from Trick. He not losing like that. But then that leads to Sami now trying to hit the haluva kick. He's trying to hit the haluva kick, but then that leads to Sami trying to go for the haluva kick, but Trick distracts the ref. That leads to Lil Yachty on the apron. Whop that man Sami in the back. Trick hits him with the spinning kick. 1, 2, kick out from Sami Zayn. You gotta hit that man with a finisher, man. That leads to Sami Zayn to losing it. They go to the outside. He's attacking Trick, and then he attacks Lil Yachty. He picks him. He's punching him down, hitting him with the own kendo stick. Trick Williams tries to get involved, but Sami reverses out of that and then DDTs him onto the stairs. He puts that man back into the ring, and then he's about to finish off Trick, but he sees Lil Yachty on the side standing up. He says, I gotta do it. Haluva kicked the Lil Yachty on the outside. He get back into the ring. He tries to go for the haluva on Trick, but Trick, get out the way. Trick shot. 1, 2, 3. Whoop that Trick. Trick gets the W. I give that match a 4 stars. Very entertaining back and forth match. I love Lil Yachty, but if you're gonna have interference, I gotta I gotta take down some points. I gotta take that. It wasn't very entertaining though. Uh, Sami Zayn let the evil part of him come out, and it didn't work. You know, at the end of the match, he's sitting outside sad while Lil Yachty and Trick Williams are in the ring throwing money around. Who doesn't love that? So I wonder what's next for Sammy. I'm pretty sure he's done with Trick now, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna have like a back and forth with Sammy trying to figure out who he really is. But hopefully we can see Trick against Ilya. That'd be a good match. And of course Carmelo Hayes. But I want to see that in a really big stand. I want to be like SummerSlam or something. Because them and Carmelo, they got good graps. Good graps right there. After that, we get on to our third match of the night, which is a tag team match. We have The Miz and his protege, Kit Wilson. Because he's not toxic. Versus Danhausen and his secret tag team partner. Danhausen has been beefing with The Miz and Kit Wilson on SmackDown. So now they're having a match here on Backlash, and Danhausen has cloned a teammate for himself, and he pops out with his little mobile, and the clone pops out, and it is a Minihausen. It is one of the I'm pretty sure it's one of the little people from WrestleMania back. So it's Minihausen, Danhausen versus The Miz and Kit Wilson. Minihausen starts the match off against Kit, and Kit instantly kicks that man like he doesn't exist. Starts aura forming right there on there. But Minihausen ain't going like that. He hit that man with the springboard headbutt. Then he hit him with the little Rana down. That leads to Kit tagging in The Miz. But it ain't better for The Miz either, because the Minihausen hit that man with the spinning Rana slam down. And Minihausen hits him with the old school, you know, the move Undertaker used to do to grab his hand, climb on the rope. He's on the rope. He kicks Miz down, and he hits Kit Wilson with the Rana in the ring. That leads to Kit and the Miz both being outside the ring. Minihausen jumps on Danhausen's arm so he can do a jump on dive onto The Miz and Kit Wilson. Also, come on, guys. No way y'all selling this. This is a funny thing to sell. Then The Miz gets the runaround back because he grabs Danhausen and slams him into the turnbuckle on the outside. That leads to them then knocking on Minihausen. So now they're both in the ring now, beating up Minihausen. The Miz first attacks Minihausen, picks him up for a slam, slams him down, and then he's flexing like he lifted up someone like 1,000,000 pounds. Then he tags in Kit. Kit grabs him up, hits the little freaky slam on him. Then he gets him in a rest hold, and he's ragdolling him around. He puts him on the corner, but Minihausen fights back. But elbow. He's on the top rope now. Moonsault from Minihausen, and you know what that means. It's time for the hot tag. Danhausen is on fire. He getting clotheslines on everybody. He's getting big punches onto them. He's so fired up. He had a big German suplex on the Kit. Then he hit a lucha DDT on the Miz, and then he tries to go for the curse on the Miz, but Kit Wilson takes the bullet. He pushes the Miz out the way. He takes the kick. That leads to the Miz getting the advantage by rolling up Danhausen. Danhausen kicks out of it, but then Dan and Minnie fight back. They get him back on the outside, especially with Minihausen hitting the Hurricanrana to Kit, who just sells it perfectly. Perfect escape out to the outside. That leads to them fighting on the outside now, and Kit and Minnie ends up start fighting. They go back to the cloning machine, which was on the stage, and Kit throws Minnie back into the cloning machine, and that leads to the cloning machine turning back on, and a bunch of Minihausens pop out, the same ones from WrestleMania, I believe. I'm not assuming. I'm just guessing. So they start attacking on Dan. They start attacking on Kit Wilson. How is that not a disqualification, by the way? And Minihausen gets Kit Wilson back into the ring. He lifts up Kit Wilson, goes for the airplane slam, hit him with slams him down, and while he's about to curse Kit Wilson, who's down in the corner now, he goes, "You are," and he's about to do it, but Kit Wilson puts him a mirror because Minihausen would see himself and would curse himself, so he can't do it. That leads to the Miz taking advantage, picks him up for the skull-crushing finale. 1, 2, no, Danhausen stops the pin, and the Miz is pissed. He attacks him. He gets him to the outside now. He's slamming on the table. Now Miz goes underneath the ring to try to go for a fire extinguisher, and he's trying to spray it. He's spraying it. It ain't working. but then it malfunctions. He sprays himself, releasing him spraying Kit Wilson. That leads to Minniehausen doing a big dive on the Kit Wilson the outside. Danhausen hits the "You Are Cursed" kick on the Miz in the ring. 1, 2, 3. Shout out to the Housens because they have the dub. This match is 3 stars. This got a lot of time. I like Danhausen and I like Minniehausen, but like, man, this is just like, it's just funny just to be funny. This match makes me think the Miz took the pay cut, bro, because he just want to be on TV. He don't care. He don't care about legacy for real. I just want to be on TV. But shout out to Danhausen and the Minniehausens, man. You guys are really like some of the best comedy wrestling I want to see. But I guess comedy wrestling is cool for this spot, you know, but it is a PLE. Like, I do want to see graps, you know. And if you want to see graps, you're getting to the graps because you're going to see Io Sky up next versus Asuka. They've been beefing back and forth, mainly over Asuka believes that Io Sky has been disrespecting her and the family. And what makes this matchup kind of like bittersweet is that Kairi Sane got released, and she was a main part of the storyline. So before the match even starts, you know, we get the whole big "We Want Kairi" chants, and the match starts off with a tie up. Both women flip back and forth, holding on each other to multiple stalemates. Then we get Io Sky getting into a headlock, and that leads to another big set of stalemates. They start pushing each other back and forth, but Asuka gets the win by hitting her little combo on the Io Sky, and then she ends up trying to Irish whip Io, but Io does the cartwheel backflip trip onto Asuka and then hits her with a clothesline. And Asuka tries to get the advantage this time. Now she gets some offense on the Io, tries to throw her, but Io Sky flips out of it to a little aura farm under her, and then she ends up getting Asuka into the corner, punching her down to the ground, and then lifts up for double knees onto her. Then that leads to Io throwing Asuka to the outside. She's trying to get the crowd hype, tries to go for the outside moonsault, but it gets stopped by Asuka. Asuka grabs her head and slams it into the ring post. Nasty, by the way. And then that's when Asuka gets a lot of offense in. She grabs her, slams her to the barricade, puts her on the apron, laying down. She does multiple kicks to her head, does a submission move near the rope, using a lot of rope for moves, kicking her while it's on the rope. Then she grabs her arm to do some limb manipulation, and then hits her with multiple kicks to the chest, Daniel Bryan-esque. But Io fights back out of it. She gets up, flips her around for the stump, but that takes all the energy out of her because she took multiple kicks to the chest. Leads to a double down. They're both on the ground now. Get back up. Io hits the Shote uppies, Shote uppies, Shote uppies. Goes to the top rope. Hits the missile drop kick. Does the flip over. Then it's time to get the bullet train in. Boom. 1, 2. Kick out from Asuka. She want to stay in this match. Now Asuka is back in the match. She hits her little Asuka combo, the little striking punch combo. It knocks Io down. Hits her with the running knee. 1, 2. Io still in this, man. She's trying to get the dub for Kairi. So Io then landing a German suplex on the Asuka, but Asuka instantly turns that into the Asuka lock. She's holding on to that thing, but this time Io says, you taught me something. Let me do it too. She says, my turn. She flips that into her own Asuka lock of her own, but Asuka ends up getting the rope, so she has to leave. She has to stop it. Now leads to Io Sky picking up Asuka on the top rope, getting her up there, and then goes for the Hurricanrana off the top rope. But after it happens, Asuka literally flips over into a pin. 1, 2, kick out from Io. They was going back and forth for this match. They was cooking. Leads to Asuka now getting the advantage on the outside, slamming Io Sky onto the announce table. Asuka has a little trick up her sleeve, tries to go for the poison mist. Shout out Tajiri. But because they're on the announce table, Io Sky puts up the clipboard from Wade Barrett, which blocks the poison mist. And Io's like, grabs her leg, slams her down on the announce table. That leads to Asuka falling off the table. Io now on top of the table, big crossbody onto her. Then Io says, it's backflip time. She gets on the apron, does that outside moonsault onto Asuka, then grabs her, puts her in the ring, for the over the moonsault. She goes for the backflip. She does jump a little too far, but Asuka Fields finds a way to grab her, puts her into the armbar position. Then she turns that into the Asuka lock, but then Io Sky flips out of it into a pin. 1, 2, kick out from Asuka. Then they go back and forth hitting each other with smacks. Big offense. Asuka turns that into a big German suplex. But then Io says, my turn. German suplex. Then she says, 5, bullet train. Big knees on her in the corner. Steps over, goes to the top rope for the over the moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Big Io Sky gets the dub. And I'm going to give that match a 4.5 star match. It was worth it. This whole journey, goofy journey, was worth it because these women cooked. They gave us a fire match. It sucks that Kyrie couldn't be here, for it to all play out. And in the end of the match, they made up. Io and Asuka hug. I'm thinking they're gonna fake it out, but they don't. They actually make up. They hug it out. Asuka grabs her hand. She gives her respect to Io. They leave, and that makes you think, like, is Asuka leaving? Is she done? Cause I hope she's not done. She still needs to win at WrestleMania. Get her a dub at WrestleMania, then she can go. But before we get to our main event, we have an announcement from the Never Seen 17, John Cena. It still sucks he ain't gonna wear the George no man. He popped out with the suit on for the announcement, and like everybody, and like we thought he was gonna do a Club WWE announcement, but he doesn't. No, he mentions that he is bringing on the John Cena Classic because he loves Saturday Night's main events. His version of it where he brought the NXT superstars against WWE superstars. So now he's bringing a new event where WWE superstars and NXT superstars will all collide to fade in this one big event, and it's going to lead to a new championship named after John Cena. and the cool thing about the championship is that you can lose and still win it because the WWE universe decides who becomes the champion. And he didn't give us a time for it or anything, but it sounds fun, and I just love the fact that we get to see like NXT people versus WWE people, and the graps we can get between there. So, fire announcement. It's always good seeing John. I'm still sad I never got to see him wrestle in person. I'm gonna regret that for the rest of my life. But on to the main event. Now we are on to the main event of the evening. Usually on my Raw recap and reviews, when we deal with Roman, we say the main event is talking, but the main event is wrestling because we have the challenger, Jacob Fatu, versus the OTC, the World Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns. And the match starts off pretty traditional with graps. Starts with a tie-up. Roman gets the advantage. Fatu hits the rope, big shoulder by Roman, but he goes up for the little flex on him, but Fatu instantly stands up and says, ain't going like that. And Fatu gets him, grabs him for the headlock. He throws him to the Irish whip. Boom, big shoulder by him. Big shoulder by Fatu. Roman gets back up, tries to hit him with a clothesline, but Fatu say, no sell. Now it's Fatu, clothesline by him, into another clothesline by him. That leads to Roman going to the outside. Fatu goes for the suicide dive, and as soon as he gets caught, instant to the Tongan death grip on him. Roman fights back out of it though. He grabs his hand and then starts doing hand manipulation, slamming it into the ring post, slamming it onto barricades, attacking it on the ropes. Fatu into the ring now. He gets multiple punches onto him, hits him with a couple clotheslines, but Fatu says, my turn, clothesline, hit him with that. That leads to Fatu get him into the corner. And they're trying to go for the corner headbutts. But Roman pulls down of it, hits him with a clothesline, back and forth, and then finishes off with a big boot in the middle of the ring. Now Roman says, it's time for the Superman Punch 1 kick out. Whoa. That man Fatu instantly get up off his feet, tweaking. That leads to him going back into a back and forth strikes between them. Fatu wins it off, knocking Roman down, hits him with the senton, and then gets him into the corner, and then hits him with the, you know how you get 10 punches in the corner, but he said, I'm going to do 10 headbutts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so on. And then he knocks him down to the seated position, and then Fatu hits him with a whole bunch of slam right there. He goes, the dread swinging back and forth. At least Fatu now trying to run it over to him, but Roman says, Superman punch. 1, 2, kick out from Fatu. He's not going at it, but he didn't get up instantly this time. At least Fatu being on the apron. Roman goes to the outside. Hits a move I rarely see him do. He does the jump up drive by, which is the jumping kick to a man on the apron. He slams onto the stairs. Roman then clearing off the announce table. Fatu says, Tongan! He grabs that man, knocks him down, picks him up, powerbomber to the announce table. Then he throws that man into the ring. He tries to run over to him. Spear by Roman. 1, 2, kick out by Fatu. He's not going out like that. You got to kill this man to get the dub. At least the Roman trying to get the official spear. He goes for the spear, but it gets reversed into a pop-up Samoan. Boom, slam down. Then Fatu goes for the mighty moonsault. Flip over. 1, 2, kick out from Roman. He's not going out like that. Fatu said, you know what, Roman? Suck it. He goes to the top rope, tries to go for the swanton bomb, but Roman puts the knees up, and he ended up hurting his knees in the process. But we don't get back to that anyway after that. So that leads to them doubling down and then going to a boo, yeah, boo, yeah, boo, yeah. But Fatu gets the advantage by hitting that man with a big uppercut, leading Roman to fall down into a seated position. Fatu hitting him with multiple eyes, throwing multiple eyes in that man's face. Then he goes straight for the Tongan again. And Roman is tweaking. He's going crazy, but Roman says, eye gouge. He eye gouges him into the ref, leads to a ref bump. Roman says, it's my time to shine. Superman punch. Superman punch twice. He tries to go for the Superman again. Super kick by Fatu. He lifting that man for a pop-up, but Roman says, punch by Roman. Goes for the, instantly hits the rope. Boom. Spear. 1, 2. It ain't over. Kick out by Fatu. Roman's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do. At least the Fatu still going crazy. The Tongan again. He gets with the Tongan. But this time, Roman, he's fighting back and forth. He's pushing the ref. He grabs the turnbuckle. He pulls the turnbuckle off. That leads to the ref trying to get involved. But Roman pushes that away. He grabs Fatu, slams him into the turnbuckle, hits him with the spear. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns gets the W. But that man throat out of commission. Balls. And Fatu, though, after the match, instantly recovers, and he's upset. He's pissed off at the ref. He's pushing him around, and then he goes for the Tongan again. He goes for the Tongan again. The ref's trying to stop him, but he says, push back. Pop-up Samoan on the ref. Goes for the Tongan again. Security officials popping out. They trying to stop him. Refs pop out. He gets back. He throwing it back and forth, but then he leaves on his own accord. He goes back up the stage and says, you know what? Let's do it again. Runs back into the ring, hits it with the Tongan again. Grabs the belt, Aura Farms, and that's the end of the show. But before we get to the end of the show, we're going to get the match rating. I give that match 4.25 stars. It was looking like it was leading on to a 5-star maybe, but like they got into the Tongan too many times. It was too many Tongan spots. You know, they even had a Tongan spot where he passed out and then woke back up. After that, you can't do the Tongan again. Like, what are we doing, man? But I guess this is what they're gonna use to write out Roman, because he's supposed to be missing July because he doesn't go to Europe, I guess. So we're having that in Italy, but we have Fatu losing, but looking like a monster. So to see it. But yes, that's going to be the end. That's going to be my review. That's going to be my review of Backlash. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Great PLE started. You know, I enjoyed every match. You know, the mini housing, Danhausen thing, it got a little after a while, but you know, it was fun. Enjoyed this video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Be sure to look out for the next Raw recap and review that will be coming out on Tuesday, and for the WWE 2K26 videos too as well. I'm Twist, and I'm out.